Dobrodošli na konferenci pred predsedovanjem Slovenije Svetu Evropske unije. Uvodni pozdrav je v slovenskem jeziku, saj tako zahteva slovenska zakonodaja. Nadaljevanje dogodka se bo odvijalo v angleškem jeziku. Rada bi pozdravila vse udeležence, ki so Ljubljane oziroma Slovenije, in upam, da bodo našli to konferenco zanimivo. Zbrali smo zanimivo število ljudi, strokovnjakov svojih področij, ki nam bodo pobliže predstavili probleme, s katerimi se bo srečala tudi Slovenija v času svojega predsedovanja. Zdaj bom zamenjala jezik in uradno začela konferenco v angleščini. Hello, welcome everybody. On my behalf, my name is Maja Bučar. I come from the Center of International Relations, which is together with TEPSA hosting this pre-presidency conference. This is our second hosting of pre-presidency conference, alas, not as the first one, which we could have in live in Ljubljana. We were also hoping that we will be able to greet you all here in our city, but as you know, the circumstances did not allow us to do so. 2 months back, when we had to decide how the conference will be organized, the conditions were such that we didn't dare to suggest to all of you to try to reach Ljubljana with whatever means of transport would be available at the time. So now we are gathering virtually, and I would like to really thank all of the panelists, the moderators, the speakers for accepting our invitation. Maybe one of the positive things of having a conference virtually is that we did get the kind of response that we got. Currently, we have more than 230 people registered. I assume not everybody is interested in every panel or plenary, but altogether, I think we will have an impressive number of people attending the pre-presidency conference. TEPSA is organizing the pre-presidency conferences together with the host country institute regularly for a number of years already. And this has been one of, I would say, the flagships of TEPSA activities. Also, the center, as I said, this is the second time that we have been hosting the pre-presidency conference, and we are really proud of being able to put on agenda so many interesting topics, which are relevant both for the Slovenian presidency, but also for all others who are interested in the issues related to the European Union. I think everybody can find something on the agenda which is going to be of his, her interest. So I welcome you again to this conference, and I pass the word on to the Secretary-General of TEPSA and a former Director General at the General Secretariat of the Council of the EU, a person who definitely knows what the presidency is all about, Jim Cloos. Jim, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Maja. Excellencies, dobrodošli to everybody. I picked up a bit of Slovene just now. I will start with a word of regret, the regret of not being with you in Slovenia today. I still remember the 2008 Slovenian presidency and my various trips to your beautiful and hospitable country. A country whose national anthem, I'm told, starts by calling God's blessing on all nations. Isn't that a fantastic slogan and a good omen for a successful presidency? We have to make the best out of today's situation. It is my feeling that the organizers of this conference have done exactly that. I am impressed with the preparations, the professionalism, and the impressive program you've put together. The cooperation between the Center of International Relations and the TEPSA Secretariat have been exemplary. Thanks to you, Maja, to Boštjan Urovic and your colleagues who have worked so well with Paul, Tongi, Hugh, and Miriam from our side. Let me say a quick word about TEPSA, which has played an important role in European studies since the 70s. We have today 47 members from all European countries, EU countries, and from the neighboring ones, constituting a high-powered network of expertise and knowledge. Not later than 2 days ago, our General Assembly gave the green light to new full members from Romania, the Republic of Moldova, and Belgium, and one new associate member from Germany. I wish them a fruitful cooperation within the association. I think this is a sign of the attractiveness of TEPSA. 6 monthly presidencies of the Council rhythm and shape the life of the Union. In my last editorial in the TEPSA newsletter, I explained why I believe that the rotating presidency system is a good system for a union such as ours. It allows member states to get a much better understanding on how the union functions. It injects new dynamism every 6 months. It creates a feeling of ownership between the member states, and it provides a unique platform for communicating Europe to the citizens of the country concerned, in this case, the Slovenian citizens. In my next editorial, I will try to explain what makes a good presidency. For those who not yet signed up to our newsletter, do not hesitate to do so. It contains a lot of relevant information. A presidency is a service rendered to the Union. This is a huge responsibility, requiring massive investment in time, energy, and resources.
Jim, sorry, you pushed the mute button.
Sorry, I don't know what happened there. I was saying it's important to understand what the presidency is and what it is not. Slovenia is not going to preside over the Union. It is going to chair a key institution of the EU. It is not about reinventing the wheel, nor shaping the Union along the national model. It is about moving the Union ahead by finding agreement within the Council, but also in the negotiations on legislation under the co-decision procedure. It is not about setting up a totally new agenda every 6 months. It is about implementing the agenda collectively set by the EU and making the EU advance. Pre-presidency conferences are important in this respect. They provide a platform for TEPSA to present their recommendations to the incoming presidency. They allow for exchanging views among think tankers, academics, and decision makers on the state of the Union and the challenges it faces. Even a cursory look at the program which you've set up for those 2 days shows that the challenges are many. We're going to talk about the 2 ongoing revolutions, the digital one and the green one. Together, they will shape the common future of the EU. We will look at the post-COVID recovery effort. It is now time to implement the major deal that was struck last year, to draw the full benefits in terms of productive investment from the money that is going to flow. This will be a major test for our Union. We will reflect on the concept of solidarity, which is such a key principle in our family, but which can take on many shapes, which sometimes is interpreted differently by member countries. So we need a debate about it. We will learn about how the Union has used differentiation in the future and may use it in the past and may use it in the future as a tool to move forward, to pull the Union ahead, not to divide or exclude. And being in Slovenia, how not talk about the Western Balkans, of course, but also the Eastern Partnership that are so vital for the future of Europe. Finally, we will have a debate about the concept of strategic autonomy that in a way encapsulates all the other challenges and policies. It is a necessary debate for the Union confronted with a complicated world and a Union which has experienced many crises over the past years. We will have to draw the lessons from those crises and from the world as it is. In this respect, I very much welcome the communication the European Commission adopted just 2 days ago about this theme. I see this debate as a means towards a stronger, more capable, and more resilient Union. To conclude, Maja, I would say that you and Lucia Mokra, our chairwoman, will be in an excellent position tomorrow to draw highly interesting and relevant conclusions at the close of this conference. I wish the Slovenian presidency a highly successful semester at the helm of the Council of the European Union. Thank you very much. Hvala.
Thank you for this comprehensive introduction into the Pre-Presidency Conference, Jim. And now I have a first announcement to make, which shows already how complex the presidency is. We were very much looking forward to the address of our foreign minister, but unfortunately he is currently on the plane to Brussels to deal with the last minute issues concerning the presidency. But he was still deciding to address the meeting, if not in person, at least through the video. So I'm asking the organizers to play the video.
Thank you for the opportunity to express some initial thoughts at the Slovenian Pre-Presidency Conference. My view is that the EU has always been a unifying factor for Slovenia. It has never been only about the single market, the euro, economic opportunities or EU funding. Becoming an EU member state was about returning to the club based on shared values. On the EU of our second presidency, I cannot help but look back to 2008 and our first presidency in which I was actively engaged. Europe has changed profoundly since then. At that time, it was all about treaty change and institutional affairs, ambitious climate goals, and making the EU the most competitive economy in the world. It was a time when things were more predictable. Shortly after our first presidency, many things changed. We had to deal with the financial and debt crisis. These were followed by the migrant crisis, Brexit, and now we are going through a pandemic crisis. As we are approaching our second presidency of the Council, it is safe to say that the EU has changed over the last 13 years. Now, I would like to look at the recent challenges we all face. Unfortunately, COVID is very likely to stay with us. In my view, it is encouraging that the EU has managed to show a remarkable degree of perseverance, resilience, and, after initial troubles, also unity and solidarity. This is the EU I want to remember from these pandemic times. Not member states competing for face masks, nor long queues of trucks at the borders. It is about stepping up the efforts to be at the forefront of COVID vaccine development. It is about reaching a historical deal on a 1.8 trillion euro recovery package. Only a few years ago, all this would have been unimaginable. It will not surprise you if I tell you that the priorities of the Slovenian presidency are natural and logical reflection of current events and the challenges we are facing. Our first priority is resilience. We want to encourage a horizontal and more strategic approach to the crisis preparedness and resilience of the European Union. We'll focus on two areas that, in our view, require more immediate attention: the pandemics and cybersecurity. I'm cautiously optimistic that during the period of Slovenian presidency, the European economy will start to pick up after the crisis. Recent data certainly support this view. At the same time, the implementation of the EU recovery plan should be in full swing. However, our first very important task will be to see that national recovery plans are confirmed as soon as possible. Europe's recovery after COVID needs to be green and digital. It will be our task to start the debate on the very important climate energy legislative package Fit for 55 to make the EU climate target of reducing emissions by 55% by 2030 legally binding. In terms of the international agenda, the Slovenian presidency will prepare and coordinate the EU's mandate for the COP26 conference on climate change taking place in November in Glasgow. It is clear that when it comes to digital, the EU needs to catch up with other global players. I wish to underline three interrelated areas that deserve particular attention: regulation of digital service and markets, artificial intelligence, and data. An important task here will be to find the right balance between the competitiveness of our industry and ensuring that this important segment of economy is regulated in accordance with our basic values. The second priority is future of Europe. The recent Eurobarometer survey shows that half of Europeans expressed willingness to participate in the Conference of the Future of Europe. The percentage is even higher in Slovenia. 63% of Slovenians surveyed were positive and ready to participate. In my view, the conference should be about how to act more effectively and efficiently. The key topics that need to be discussed are strategic challenges such as demography, migration, recovery, digital and green transition, climate change, and health union. At the national level, we will devote the Bled Strategic Forum 2021 to the future of Europe. We believe that our international guests will contribute to lively and topical discussions. We will also intend to involve counterparts from the Western Balkans in the discussion. The third priority comprises a union of European way of life, the rule of law, and equal criteria for all. Respect for the rule of law is one of the basic values on which the EU was founded. Therefore, the Slovenian presidency will devote considerable attention to the debate on the rule of law. With this in aim, two debates will be held, a general one and a country-specific debate for 5 member states. In this way, we wish to contribute to a better understanding of and a more convergent views on the rule of law as our shared European value. The establishment of a European Institute on Constitutional Democracy could also contribute to the discussion on this topic. The fourth priority is about European Union that is capable of ensuring security and stability. In terms of the role of the EU in the world, we should seize the opportunity coming from the other side of the Atlantic and renew our transatlantic commitment. We will also work on strengthening the EU-NATO cooperation. The EU also needs to start thinking about enlargement in the region of Western Balkans in strategic terms. Enlargement, of course, is about implementing reforms and fulfilling political and technical criteria. However, it is also about the strategic role of the EU in its immediate neighborhood. If the EU does not continue with the enlargement, other global players will assume their leading role in the backcourt of the Union. As you can see, the second half of this year will be very intensive for our presidency and for me personally. I will make every effort, also in a capacity as the representative of the Council in the European Parliament, to keep this important topic high on the agenda and to make as much progress as possible on the important dossiers. Thank you.
On behalf of the organizers, we wish to thank the Foreign Minister, Dr. Anže Logar, and his staff at the Ministry to prepare this recording and with this way open our pre-presidency conference.